there been a lot of talk as to say whether say a buying and I say ubi kutupa say onkoye the oil, especially with a company omo ede a mobile money fintech limited. The issue of a percentage when it comes to say o send this a careful wallet in a bank account and what charges are now. What does the law say when it comes to the issues of increments in percentages or increment in fees when it comes to some of these transactions? And I face the air cost when it comes to the economy, and I face more use mobile money pano beyond menewo aye more transaction. The business world is equally affected, and I say affected, and so munya messages ni na omo phones no really ebino eyam sure mo kakra say the G levy and your day back, and that's what said the empire and na eba a home commodity and a ne ejwe yebabidi ewe Kesben TV. So the digest ye de ebro and it's benko baby be a stick and stay because I know home commodity a self says CAD. So in as much as messages more phones median the name by dear, but according to law o check am rana make the Payment System and Services Act year 2019 Act year 987 tells us say clearly say some within 7 days now say increment be beba say that 7 days ahead sinebeya ubia ebenya. And of course Bank of Ghana so when it comes to the act now we share Sisiano TV Nesona face on Facebook Kesben TV and then Kesben TV Plus and the Kenginano. It clearly tells you say omo echo according to the aircon. So when you read the regulations requirement for a material change and no and the wo Sisia 43 section 43 no clearly say the aircon idea SSA Ubia Eshe Niye pa. So what is happening no and so he says that seek approval of Bank of Ghana and of course then who say actually says Bibisa Bekoswa they need to give or grant almost about 7 days ahead. Did the fintech maker mobile money fintech limited according to Mrano and omoka say omobeye the increments and I said they did not really consult a Bank of Ghana and I feel so other people so be doing some common and no komo ye bedi and it started by then Parliament where the minority is asking say by Thursday nyame adoma ochina they are requesting say the finance minister Ebeba Parliament and Wababe answer truly whether indeed Bibisa ever Hodama. First off, I didn't buy any Bank of Ghana issued a statement on net. So we can then start the discussions from there. Then I take you to Parliament where the minority leader decided to speak on it or touch on it where Parliament or Assembly. So the Bank of Ghana released a presser on the 26th of May 2026 and it said suspension of proposed 0.7% wallet to bank transfer fee pending further consultation. And it is clear or say the Bank of Ghana informs the public that that Mobile Money Fintech Limited has been directed to pause the implementation of its proposed 0.75% fee on direct wallet to bank transfer. The fee was scheduled to take effect on 1st of June 2026, but it is now on hold to allow further consultation. The decision reflects our commitment in ensuring any changes to charges in the mobile financial service ecosystem are introduced fairly, protect consumers and support their financial well-being. This is what was issued by the Communication Department of the Bank of Ghana. So clearly, almost no. But Obi say Bank of Ghana issued a ASR statement based on what? The public agitation the media agitation and into the map Bank of Ghana is Bank of Ghana also telling us say Sebi Mobile Money Fintech Limited, they do not go according to the law. What the law says increment in charges be bar. The processes they need to pass through. No, Mobile Money Fintech Limited. Go through is that what they are saying? Saying yes, no more can answer. What say ye pause for further consultation? What does the law again say? It says so be digital mobile money according to the law. No, any say on it or your consultation be and now said there. What would have been the effect? Is it the public outcry? And Nama Bank of Ghana sebi nhwehwe animu and other beto was a pause, or it is a political move to see say Ghana for the with the quotes that ye levy ba ye sign the tax for bentino ye tria sign. Would then Bank of Ghana after consultation say that they should move on with the increment, but this time maybe a reduction of the increment and hunkomo yebedi. But minority leader Osahina Fenyo Michael, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday to you, Osahina. Your birthday. I mean, raise this matter Parliament as to why and I said what and now when the public outcry won, and then Bank of Ghana issuing a press statement on this particular issue. Yenshano Nafi Yambra Baxis here.
That from 1st of June, transactions from bank account to the wallet would attract a 0.75% Ghana cedi, 0.75% fees on direct wallet to bank transfers. According to them, they are doing this suspension for further consultation. The question is, what is further consultation in this context? Were these not the same people who, when in opposition, claimed that there must be constructive consultation before any policy is introduced and implemented? So what has changed? The worst part of it is that this time they did not even come through Parliament. According to them, they are using Mobile Money Fintech Limited as the vehicle for these hidden charges. So whereas in the Akufo-Addo administration, due process was followed, government made the announcement through the budget and came to Parliament for a law for the purposes of this levy. NDC is using the Bank of Ghana and a private sector company to enforce this levy. We have a question for the finance minister. He must immediately come to Parliament on Thursday to explain the circumstances leading to the imposition of this 0.75% charges on mobile money transactions. We are not interested in the suspension. We are interested in how come, but for the public outcry, they were going to spring this surprise on the Ghanaian public. So in conclusion, we are simply saying NDC is a scam. It's a government of settings. They don't believe in what they say.
All right, and the minority leader and I'm saying Kanosahina Fenyo Makin raising too many concerns for issues, which is of interest that we need to talk about, devoid of devoid of politics, whether the NDC is a scam or not. But we're going to look into the matters very well, whether indeed a suspension abano is a clear indication that there is, the need for us to get this one done. But we're also looking at issues where whether we want to feel say issues of policy communication, public consultation, or the impact on the ecosystem when it comes to financial inclusion and issues of digital issues of digital money transfers and but I want to start with Mr. Prince Obri Yeboah, who is an economist or line also, and then again I think I have Mr. Emmanuel Dakwa, who is also an economist, and then I'm looking at to Dr. Ban Ayikusi, and then Ura Charles Kwesi Edu, who is a national PRO Emma Mobile Money Agent Association of Ghana, and of course Dr. Ban Ayikusi, a financial expert and yenene bedi enkomo. So I will start with Mr. Prince Obri Yeboah. So Mr. Prince Obri, I'm eba the digester. So let me start with you by asking, sir. Also, say Bank of Ghana issue a statement to really say that they should put a pause on the increment na eba bebano. Minya sure say bia unya a message in it, because according to the law, I'm starting with it because of the regulatory concerns that are really being raised in here. According to the law, now me show you know, they need to give almost 7 days notice for all of us to also be aware say increment so it means that the fintech guys, the Momo guys, or the mobile money limited, fintech limited, echo through the processes. But regulatory issues when it comes to these ones, in particular, who is saying wadama? Okay, I'm say Ora Prince Obri Yeboah and ready, but I obviously get to him to understand where or not so iffy, but when it comes to the banking implications and probably the regulatory concerns na account. But if Mr. Iman, okay, so if Obri is ready now, may sure so you got a question there. But I was asking, my minister repeated you if you didn't hear me well, respectfully. Now maybe say. Bank of Ghana issued statement on this to pause the increment that Sebi Mobile Money Fintech Limited was requesting. Some do we have regulatory issues when it comes to this? First off, because again, what it means is that they've gone through a series of consultation before they also took that decision, because it's a whole institution that leads with credibility. Anna. Prince, wait me on mute so that okasa better. I'm say one mute audio no nti o mute and can be boy pa. Okay, me sure say we will get Ora Prince to talk to us on it. But my started with Mr. Emmanuel Dakwa, who is also an economist on this particular issue, to look at one of the issues that are really bothers a lot. Now the impact when it comes to the small scale industries.
Yes, Amira, please, can you hear me now?
Oh, okay, Obri, I can hear you now. Prince, sure. Okay, so thank you so much. May I sure something the question and I'm Bisano.
Yes.
Okay, all right. But that's
it. So, in order
okay.
to start, you may meet, you know.
All right, me too.
I mean, Miniam and Navy, Boamia program, no, Namin Washi, Muslim Brothers. Regulatory issue, no?
Yes.
We must educate ourselves and ask Ghanaians to say, what is the current status quo when it comes to the transfer from one's mobile money wallet to the bank account?
Sure.
Say, the current status quo now, the debate about whether somebody is smuggling charges through backdoor or whatever that it is,
okay.
Now, unfortunately, issues here. Yeah, now you pentem eba bontin ebe kasa bebre without proper background work. Into the political class, let's say issue number, we jump into the space and criticize the discussion, make it political. As of this morning, we were so phone kutawa. A MTN platform no says umu revise umu charges.
Yeah.
And they call 0.75 and cap it at the maximum of 5 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
So phone to another our producers MPK Omo platform. Now Omo star 170 cash. Now Omo option 6 indicates Omo transfer to their bank account. Name put a figure like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Never charges your beba. The charges you are going to get anything above 3,000, you are not going to pay anything less than 7 cedis, 50 pesos.
Okay.
As of this morning, this is the status quo. I am repeating. As of this morning, this is the status quo. Anybody transferring anything above 2,000, 3,000, you are paying more than 7 cedis to your bank wallet, and you need not to have even Ghana card before you do it. So the background to this, I'm not speaking for the telecos, but as a practitioner, as a banker, that day in and day out, even as of yesterday, my bank transactions, my customers are transfers from their mobile money wallet to their bank account. I can give some of the charges that the system reported to me this morning, and it is way higher than what the MTN is proposing to charge. The truth is that the last 2 years, Ghana by introduced to be by a friend Ghana Pay platform. The Ghana Pay platform is being operated by gifts. Now Ghana Pay platform, what is happening is that customers on that platform no so you should know a transfer from their account to their bank wallet. They are paying lesser charges on that platform as compared to what the telecos, i.e. MTN, is charging. Because MTN is charging per a transaction or a rate on the transaction, and Ghana Pay not capping it there by 5 CD, and most of them can pay a free of charge. People are moving from the MTN platform to the Ghana Pay platform. I think that MTN researchers and they took this exercise, they realized that people are moving from their platform. Therefore, they took a decision that let us now also come back, revise our tariffs, and cap it at 5% Ghana CD, 5 Ghana CD maximum. So, to be fair with you, saying that how much we are paying now on our bank wallet, on our mobile money wallet, transfer to our bank charges here. I think that the current platform now, Model Bank, and promote more inclusion. But because we are not even aware of how much we are paying now, we ended up jumping that it is something they are introducing. As a practitioner, I'm giving you a data. You can try it whilst you are talking to me, or you can let your producers do it. After star 170 hash, you all go to option 6, transfer to a bank, then you go to the banks are there. You go into the bank, you input your account number, try to say that you are transferring 3,000, 4,000. You see how much before you input your mobile, your PIN code as you see how much charges you're going to pay. Then you realize that the proposal they are coming up technically may inure to the benefit of the customers. Having said this, let's go in the tangents now. General public in the air corners, as you said, the telecos are going to cheat us. I think that if it's established that the current platform is giving us a freebies, free of charge transfer into our mobile money, into our bank account, and they want to introduce charges, it diffuses the purpose of financial inclusion or the cashless economy agenda Bank of Ghana at the ABA. It has always been the vision of Bank of Ghana said, a bedroom may be in Ghana by a society of cashless cash or cashless society, whereby Timemupo will not carry huge sums of money to buy items or to go to their bank or to do any other transaction, but rather we will make use of the digital platforms now. You want you betim dia transfer sika o kota dia betim dia make instant payment o betim dia ye niam bebre, so that the cost associated to the printing of currencies by Bank of Ghana if it's established that there's platform is free of charge and the telecos are coming up with such a charges, then I will say that it is not going to inure to the benefit of the said agenda. And the Bank of Ghana could be right in stepping in to say that please hold on with whatever discussion or the processes that we've started. Let's do a lot of stakeholder engagement before we do so. So if they have come out, they are right. We must understand that the telecos are independent entities. Even though they operate under the broader regulatory regime. So but as a regulator, they can make an intervention just as they have done. But I think that this whole discussion, we must look at our current position now, how much we are paying for receiving those services before we go ahead to do any criticism. That would be my initial submission.
But Obri, can say Abai and I say government has also come up with another one that people are also moving on. I mean, clearly, if you check what the mobile money fintech limited almost customers, they're looking at almost about how many over 90 million active subscribers on that particular services now provided. Now, if there's competition from government, why is it that we did not hear from the same Bank of Ghana regarding the new one that is also, or probably the one ongoing by government, where people are also shifting, customers are shifting onto that platform, amber out? What was the problem?
All right, maybe the cost of buyer is that about the mobile money market now, MTN introducing Ghana somewhere around 2009 July.
Yeah.
And ideally, and being the biggest network operator in Ghana, no one cover buy. In fact, it's only recently Ghana 40 as I said, mobile money is not related to MTN only, but there are other telcos heavier than AB. So, as the biggest network operator in Ghana, every corridor or one, they have access to that one. Definitely, a lot of people will be interested in joining them or moving on to their platform. What the government of Ghana, or for that matter, GIFT has introduced is a common platform. In fact, let me go back a bit.
Okay.
The attempt by bank or the attempt by government of Ghana to promote cashless economy, and so what here for in the year 2007, and we introduced e-switch. The purpose of introduction of e-switch was that Yamma Abeju by Kuninani market here through that card platform, whereby all shops and supermarket ever taught the e-switch machine point of sale device needed, so that truck commercial transport nina udu hana card or card their total. Now I did that now we're moving on. Unfortunately, I near Juma. Over the period, the government of Ghana am making a lot of effort on attempt to promote that cashless society. But the MTN then, because of the platform now, already Nipa Bebre had already subscribed to their platform. Move into the money financial sector. It made it a bit easier. Now, the reason why Ghana Pay and other platforms are too popular is that MTN are taking the lead, and the real see Obi taking the lead. Now, our desire, let's say, or best sustaining lead now. Yeah, now evidence how they catch up with the person, because they have all the infrastructure, they have all the numbers in everything in terms of charges. They can beat just down just to make sure that they will make the competitors very unpopular. I think it's the same action. So moving into the future, let's use some of the platform here to tell Ghanaians that Ghana as a nation has introduced something we call Ghana Pay, and their billboards are all over. People that think that the charges there, other telco charges are higher, they can move there, or I am urging them to move there, so that we can have a common platform that is being owned by we as a Ghanaians. Until they must come out, those other mobile money platforms like Ghana Pay, they must also do more in terms of publicity, advert, go to the institution, especially the tertiary and the second circuit institution, make the Ghanaian youth understand that when it comes to the mobile money transfer, it is not only the telcos that have it, but we have another one that can equally give you the same service at the cheaper cost. We did this when they undertake such moves, but for now, the wedding so it will take a lot of effort for that to break the gap na MTN are widen.
Okay, Meko Emmanuel Dakwaso, who is also equally an economist na yedin komo, but Obri, Mami Sambra hope you on this matter, the issue of the percentage that we put on in terms of the charge. What would Bank of Ghana be doing? Because if say the other one Basisiano is charging less, and then obidia a higher baby, who regulates these percentages? If you can educate us on that now, Feminko Imarodako to look at other matters on the same issue.
Mira, anything related to the financial transactions, my Ghana the 1992 Constitution to me I'm a Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
Again, when you look at the Banking Act 930, you promulgating in the year 2016. And my Bank of Ghana to me be so unregulated anything related to bank transfer. The reason why Bank of Ghana about dealing but not the Ministry of Communication and is that the transfer that involve money and anything that relates to Sikasem a Bank of Ghana. So you want to transfer something from your mobile money platform to bank, it has to do with Bank of Ghana. Okay. So the whole discussion, Bank of Ghana was supervisory or oversight regulation over the financial sector and for that matter the telecommunication. Psychiatric history MTN needed to get a lot of approval or the teleport needed to get a lot of approval from Bank of Ghana before they embark on the money transfer platform. It's about the central bank. But idea is that I said my platformer may also just yesterday transaction. For example, for the purpose of education, being cassette Enra, my platformer may also my customers will be transferred an amount of 1,500 Ghana cedis from the wallet to the bank. The charges are a woman now no pay as the reported their mommy. Unfortunately, baby, I'm the system charge the person 19 cedis, 50 pesos. Obi transferred 303 Ghana cedis. The person was charged 3 cedi, 90 pesos. So when your producer contacted me that I should come and help with this discussion, I quickly went onto the platform. How much is the existing customers paying now? Assuming I want to make a transfer now. When I saw this, I wanted to test it and see if what has been recorded on my platform is correct. I used my own mobile money platform to transfer money into my bank account. Like I said, when I transferred 3,000, the charges that I paid was 750 pesos just before I joined you. So the whole Bank of Ghana and the telecos must come out clearly and tell us what is the current position. Because what I see on the platform now, there are a lot of inconsistencies and so they must tell us what is the current position. They're moving into the future, what they are going to do so that Ghanaians can have a fair understanding of the charges that we are paying on our mobile money transaction. But as it is now, and yet too clear, what I've said, it looks like they're not teleconnected ban will ignore to the benefit to the customer than how much we are paying now.
Okay, so Prince Obriabwa, just to hold on for me now. Your discussion. So, but let me move to Emmanuel Dakwa, who is also equally an economist on this particular matter. Now, if you share truly what the impact is when it comes to the small scale and the larger picture when it comes to the economy. So, it's the digital economy that we're dealing with, and also digital issues. So, Emmanuel Dakwa. So, I have seen freight forwarders Association applauding a Bank of Ghana to say they should pause the 0.75% or more impulse. So clearly, freight forwarders, when we know they deal with our port, and they, of course, some what it tells you is the ordinary Ghanaian, the impact when it comes to some of these percentages, will fall on the ordinary Ghanaian, and I said the customers who are going to have the end product of whatever they bring into the system. And then again, they're also having a few increment in a baswa a bit hard when it comes to transactions the port and all that. So increment will come in and all. You've heard what Mr. Prince Obriabwa have said, but looking at the impact that will fall on our services when it comes to the port charges, when it comes to our small scale industry and all that, say a ban is an increment beba. How do you foresee that?
Yo, medase mamenchia yahefo nyina na menchia also, and Prince and so has done justice with the questions that you have asked, so we just have to continue. Yeah, it's also about the side of the company we are talking about. This is MTN. In terms of market share, no, MTN will about 75% of market share in mobile money, and in terms of even voice, they have subscribers of close to 32 million, and so it is a very significant market power and okuta. In tariffs or pricing, its impact on all sectors of the economy will be felt. That is why you have seen other institutions and bodies coming out to say this should be discussed further. Now, Bank of Ghana also and also calling for a suspension for us to have further deliberation. And so it's more of the impact of the number of people who are using MTN in terms of mobile money subscribers. By the end of 2025, according to their full year report, they have about 19,270,000 subscribers in terms of mobile money subscribers. And so these are very active accounts. It tells you that huge. And so in terms of its impact, we're looking at digital inclusion. We are expecting that all people in Ghana will have access to digital services, financial services, and so when there are increases in prices or tariffs, it defeats the purpose of it. And again, in Bank of Ghana, Ejibotane said, you become a cashlight society, so that they can reduce the amount of money they use in printing money, because it costs us so much money in printing hard currency, and so it will defeat the purpose. That is why it's one of the reasons why Bank of Ghana, AMA, MTN are halting for further deliberation, so that we can look at the issue holistically. But by and large, in concluding on the point, I think it's about the market share of MTN mobile money subscribers and its impact in terms of the whole digital financial services. That is why the Bank of Ghana is more interested in halting the process, so that there will be further deliberation, because 90 million active mobile money subscribers is very huge. In terms of mobile money market share, 75%. In the end, politics and also a side, we know how unpopular that policy was. And so in anything regarding financial services price, Ghanaians are very jittery, including the political class. And then the backlash,
Okay, so my point again here is this. So you say that huge market share. You say competition is coming in again, like just as Prince Obriyeboa said, there's another competition in there. So in as much as I have the figures, almost 19 million users on this particular platform, I have almost about 75% of the market share. But I know very well that I still will have to improve on my share. But there's another digital mobile digital mobile service that is also creating a huge platform and winning my numbers. So if they are winning my numbers, then competition starts. So why would you want to then halt mine, and as much as I still have the numbers?
That's a very good question, but that is the essence of regulation, because regulation should make sure you don't create unfair competition in the market. That is why regulation is very important. And as I have indicated already, this is the biggest telco or the largest share in terms of mobile money subscribers. And so the regulator should be interested in the pricing from that telco. I'm not suggesting say Telecel and I say other ones and no person more review on prices. Bank of Ghana will not be interested in that. But this one is very huge, all because of also I mentioned the recent history we have had in terms of e-levy buy, which was a government policy, no taxi transactions on electronic transactions, and so there's the history. Intina ama adenaye unpopular. The minority leader even in parliament. The message was presented as if a government and
exactly,
but the government they implement it. Say message na no, it is the telco sending the message, and in the message, and you're buying or the year tariff be by on Quebec say in accordance with ABA e-levy Act 222 or whatever it is. That is just an example. And so in terms of politics, in terms of regulation, there should be a fine line so that we can discuss it. That is why Bank of Ghana has come in. Of course, I think once they're able to sit with MTN and other players in the industry, we can have a way for it, because it looks like Prince Krakai giving examples of the variation in pricing for the same service. There are a lot of variations. Ebi use gifts platform, Ghana Pay, Ebi use mobile money platform to do the same transaction. But tariffs are different. And so I think the conversation could do to inure to the benefit of the consumer, in our quest to have a cashless society, in our quest to have access to digital financial services, we have to be able to have some form of uniform pricing. The consumers will not be shortchanged. And I think that should be the bottom line of this conversation, involving not only the MTN, but other players in the same sector, so that we can have some level of uniformity in terms of pricing. Now, to me, a cash-like society.
Okay. All right, I hold on, my now menko Dr. Ba Kusi hono na fe mimbisa no issues ebi encounter into say Dr. Ba wote menka ma mimbisa sasem way minority leader kasa no or can be say a buying person of faculty kwan so na or de tax eba eno o use obi beka one of the biggest telcos say obi timi ayusu sa de no afechi na wakwa je the sika issues of taxation issues and face whether indeed government truly in terms of say open revenue streams into obi timi akwa share obi echi say na waye because our numbers and obi timi determine what the market is also doing and all that. But beyond that in the first place say a bit to me abasa for us to see say the macroeconomy now a buying person or building or bit to me idea ye can obi beka this theory amount for propelling in terms of minority especially say all fast so now akwa yes and a bit to me abasa. Okay, Mr. Bansa, wait to me on mute to one mental kananka what was okay, me to mute. Better sepa.
Hey, kapa.
I me to kapa.
Well, last statement the mountain ye.
Okay, na me bisa say you share issues of taxation. You share the issues of a buying person or increasing the revenue stream. The theory na minority propel say a buying bet to me and I say obefa kweti kwanso akoshe obibeka one of the biggest telcos having almost about 19 million subscribers on their platform in terms of this digital financial transactions and all that to increase more percentage and I say yen to me fan any say adwene sa na mom no a friend is we back platform agro and na ye di say obi aba na otwe me customers me so be say me increase and say me reduce so that we can have a fair play and then I can also contain or maintain me numbers within the economy or probably the system na you run this year.
Okay, me that's a best match for you especially brothers in your Muslim brothers or more holiday and then all you better show me. Now if I get the question right now, that's what I just say at the bed end who say and ya buy now question empty and 40 someone just increment. Okay. Members here call into the realm of conjecture.
Okay.
Say about drink sir. Now there's no evidence to back the fact that I buy na show mechi se omonye. In any case, PN is an independent private organ. On per se, BBA a better.
Say ora kusi network.
I'm a trust that.
ka position hu yam say o kasa ne tete ko kakra wadama. Okay, maybe we so I can deal with some of these matters and all that. But I mean, call Dr. Peter Tekpehoro, of course. So I should look at other matters connected to some of these things. So we issues that has to do with communication, public communication, and then policy matters and all that. So right, so what in the where the fintech people are increasing. Then the law, as we talk, Payment System and Service Act 2019, Act 987, they went through the procedure. Almost 7 days notice. They've increased it. From what Mr. Obri is saying, you know, a platform use a buy why you would there me who say amount for a female platform, and also I want to still maintain any who encommodate. Now all of a sudden Obibeka Bank of Ghana comes in. Is it because of the public outcry anything about omobemu to pause it? And yes, nipa and kasadia and kebeku through and so if it is so, these policy matters and issues of governance when it comes to this, how do we manage some of these things? Because Bank of Ghana here is not saying we should talk about it consultation. Then we say minority also comes in to say buying and the oppressor or you know. How do we manage some of these things when it comes to this? And since it's about governance, policy, consistency issues and all that.
In fact, me that say the media Momo share you so any Muslim brothers as well. In fact, when you are the fufro,
okay,
yeah, because you have no charges for transactions of such nature. Now say only say banks no, omo increase omo revise omo fees.
Yes.
Sending
text messages
to the members.
Yes.
To customers.
Yes.
But when we say Obia complaining,
Dabi.
Ave MTN so enye and na omo increase fees so say first no, not they revise their fees and charges. But because politics abe kahunte, abe patahunte, and abe than say, we share what is happening now. A private company all communicated to his customers, and now my customers said, "You're revising a fees, and now you're introducing fees because of ABCD." As for the banks, almost every year they are revising their fees, and it's not only transfer fees. ATM who use what you charge.
Yeah.
Who use what online platform banks na kasa or who online platform who use what or who charge. Who moving from their online platform even to your Momo account they charge. So where your charges are what did that? Anka enye bibia will say edani apra. But if some say politicians no apoliticize yanti ama bibia adia normala anka endani how to call it apparatus say na share, then it comes as a result of this. So share it has nothing to do with government. A private company. Therefore, there is no way MTN will have come out to announce and send messages without consulting the Bank of Ghana. It can never happen.
Exactly my point.
It can never happen. So, if somebody says that Bank of Ghana is not aware, it will be difficult for me to believe that it is true. It can never be true. MTN cannot get up and say they are charging or applying these fees.
Yeah.
Because a normal thing. This is not the first time they apply. That is the reason why when government was taking off the e-levy, they maintained that they call it the fees for the telcos. They are still charging fees.
Okay.
Also, the mobile money as we speak now, they charge.
Yes.
The only difference is that when you are moving from bank your wallet, no charging. But if you are moving money from your bank wallet to your Momo, the banks charge a fee.
Yes, they do.
It is when you are moving money from your Momo to the bank that some of them, they are saying that they don't charge. But some of them, in most cases, there are no fees that are applied. If there are fees that are applied in other platforms, then that is fine. But Momo and Kasano, that is what it is. That's why they are introducing this. But there are other platforms that use it. So if you look at it, they said in order to, because they incur fees. I say first now internet ban. At first, na internet will come. Say MTN, Utwa, when you use the internet, it was free.
Yeah.
Until it got to a point where they have to introduce fees.
Yeah.
Then now you need data to be able to browse. Then why? Because when systems are growing or are expanding, you need to build infrastructure for that. And that is how some of these fees are introduced. Ushia fee no introduce now. And Ukrainian him say, Anka, it is nothing. Almost 0.75 cap at 5 cedis. The issue is that the thing is that the usage of Momo platform is no more an option. It is a must identity because people now see it as a convenient way of saving time and cost. Say mefa car, akojina kiumu, say me transaction. Why you can be at home at night, any moment, any day you can do transaction. It comes to help. Until the fee they are charging, capping it at 5 cedis, and very good, honestly. And let us be frank to ourselves. Because we have politicized everything, baby, I could do. And we have also not thought of the fact, say, Adia Air Koi, it will have helped. This is the disadvantage of criticizing everything. If e-levy was well introduced, and a proper consultation, and we didn't attach politics to RITA, this wouldn't have happened. Now they are saying it's levy. This is not e-levy. But you see the way they brought e-levy to attach it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this is not e-levy. And those who are saying it's e-levy, they know that it's not e-levy. Also, they are saying, say, Aban FSA offer MTN so Eddie introduces.
Exactly.
They know it's not true. They know it's not true. How can this be? Say, MTN will accept. MTN is not a Ghanaian-owned business. Do you think that a multinational will just sit down and say, please, I want to use you to perpetrate what is wrong? How can a government cannot introduce taxes or fees without going to parliament for approval? So how can they go and be behind MTN and say MTN said, Jiska we and transfer money? This one cannot be secret. It can't be secret because it will be known, because they will definitely transfer the money into the consolidated fund. And so sometimes we because we want to gain political capital, and another circumstance way is not something that we should be talking the way we are talking, because how can it be? I mean, the government will want to hide behind MTN to do this. No. And how can it be said it is e-levy when we know this is not e-levy? But because we know that the politicians know that, hey, let's capitalize on this and then disseminate the wrong information, so that by the time they will come back to correct it, we have already caused the harm. All of the politicians, that's what they do. The same thing was done when e-levy was also introduced. And so that is what we are seeing now. And that, for me, we must be frank to ourselves. If today, MTN will shut down, say because of this, we are also suspending Momo's service. Do you know what will happen in this country? Look at the volume of transactions that goes on. We have allowed the company to grow, to become basically a monopoly. We have allowed MTN to become a monopoly market now. Basically, they are the only one operating in the system now, because everybody knows that Momo is only MTN. So if today MTN is also saying, okay, we are suspending mobile money service until we finish consulting the Bank of Ghana, do you know what will happen to the financial system in this country? Do you know the number of people who use Momo every day? So sometimes and then politicians themselves will be affected. Is it not the same Momo they use to send money to people? So sometimes we see we are destroying ourselves. And Bibia Yabeka said, "You say, "Inti kosi da bank." And Yabeka said, "You say, into a certain line as a nation." How will our leaders start saying that? Let's start telling the people that this is the reality. Let's go by it. But we want to make sure, so far as we are in opposition, we have to make sure that we speak evil of everything that is being done by the government. And that is why we are seeing this. NDC is facing this challenge because of what they did to e-levy.
Okay.
They wish they have not spoken about e-levy the way they did. Indeed, the way it was introduced wasn't good. They should have consulted further. But the way they went about it, they wish they have not done that. Other than that, today they wouldn't have been attacked by this way. So the Bank of Ghana withdrawal of the letter to say they are suspending it for further consultation, they have already been consulted. That is the fraud. Let's be honest with ourselves. Because MTN can never get up and say they are introducing these fees and sending even messages to customers when the regulator.
Exactly my point. Because then, I mean, their integrity is on the line now for them to also come tell us indeed whether there was no consultation. Now, where any fana ube situate Bank of Ghana now as our middle in between politics, public outcry, and then me kopa MTN choice me release the issue a friend a statement where the men can share this three chain where any fana Bank of Ghana HCCA I said there ma nenim guasibisa no as if for political basis and I said the public outcry that came in and now so say consultation indeed so man their due diligence was not done. This three I mean triangle na play no mention and TRC what would you want to place them?
And so sir Bank of Ghana governor appointment a political appointment.
Yes.
And nonte bibia ebekoswa affect the government becoming unpopular and also it will bite him or one way or the other. And another circumstance, MTN could have taken them on because I can tell you facts there. MTN has consulted them. If you read the letter they introduced, the letter to suspend it. When you read the letter, you notice that they were saying that for further consultation,
yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. On your consultation, why would you have further consultation?
Why would they further consultation? So there was already a consultation, but they have Omar Fani himself between the devil and the deep sea. What do we do? The government is going to be backlash. So either they were trying to say, let's test the system to see how the reaction will be. Then we'll come up and know what to do. Or they will say, hey, we have no option. Go ahead and then do it. Because at the end of the day, you are a private entity. But because they saw what is coming, the heat that is coming, that is why they have decided that they would do. But I'm telling you, we have no option. Because we have allowed MTN to become a monopoly.
Okay.
So what do? Government couldn't bring an alternative. If there's an alternative, do you think that just like what is happening in the fuel sector, the energy sector, the oil marketing companies, don't you see the competition? So people are forced to now reduce their prices because what? Others are reducing it because if you say you won't do it, I am doing it. So you are forced to do too. So when you have a monopoly, that's what will happen. Okay. Because for me, the notice period from MTN was even too short. But it's like you have no option. So they will say they just sent messages to tell you within a short time to say 1st June. When they did not even give you 1 month notice. All because they want to test the system because they are in charge. If today MTN has shut up, the country of minor, it will be a big problem. So now the customers themselves will say MTN should introduce the charge because they will prefer it. I'm telling you, if MTN says okay, government has suspended it. Let us wait when we finish the engagement because we are running at a loss. We are running at a loss until you're betting. So let's be frank for ourselves.
Okay. Doc, hold on, my Mr. Nafemin ko Dr. Bankwisi Honor na many in this uncle. So Dr. Bankwisi, let me be say clearly, me who Freight Forwarders Association for a press statement applauding a Bank of Ghana halting the increment, just as Oras Dr. Mrs. Tekpe, Ora Peter Tekpe Kano, that monopoly no ewo honum. Now, looking at businesses, anyhow, almost sustaining if the increment in it, but even if NS 0.75 in the crown, the Bebana say call ABR 0.7 and now 0.71 and now 0.72 krana, there is still an increment. Now, Freight Forwarders, for example, catcher say yeah, a bit hydrogen is say taxation issues, babem. Now the end result is that yes, our transaction as a cano and our taxes in a betoswa. The impression created, they say, ordinary Ghanaian no beto ye nneema no so no ebe face that same end product taxation no ewo eye nneema no so. Do you foresee that?
I mean, that's sorry. Initially, I think they're not networking. No.
Yes.
But I mean,
Yes.
MTN a listed company. Person or no home. Ebe for the lines require withdraw from the stock exchange. I'm not sure. Say they'll be embedded in government over some of these things. These are wild allegations. I don't want to go there.
Okay.
But here share some business on business and transactions. Now, obviously, once there is some form of levy, cover. These are the implications. One, increase it beyond what we are experiencing now. What it means is that we resort to traditional means of sending money and not look at economy as a means. That's the first thing. Second one is that I am passing a China now the increase here for almost any kind of best of our more because there's a cap. I'm going to 300 cities who actually send up less those who say that about more. So in terms of that, nobody will say. Now in terms of the economic value, these are passed on are charged. It means that the ultimate bearer of this will be the consumer because we need now goods and prices. So now I'm the bar, pass it on. Ordinarily, increasing the burden of the ordinary Ghanaian, but as being that the poor would actually will actually be more affected than the richer people or the more privileged people in society. But look at it from this way. The initial outcry of the minority led all of us to think that government is reintroducing
ye levy.
That it is a private individual MT trying to revise its fees to meet the current competitive landscape Momo transactions. And clearly we are seeing that it is a problem, and that probably shifts the focus of what we thought, right? What we thought. Now it's trying to do business. Look, if the private man wants to increase his cost of the Momo charges, right? Or he wants to increase the transaction fee, it is at his own detriment. When he does that, it means that if we are saying that there are alternatives which are cheaper, move on to that. So I think that what I think Bank of Ghana have been clear in its communication was that this is not something that we are pushing. It's a private member doing. It was not clear from their communique. Tell us that you are suspending it for now and for broader consultation. Makes you right. You are, and that you are being told, and that's how you are suspended. But given the chain of command and the regulatory, there's no way MTN can get up, charge it, informing the regulator, and this goes a long way to enforce the raise that become so monopolized that we are able to cap them, we are able to charge them. If we are able to charge them, then Bank of Ghana would have been explicit in their communication that they remember introducing their own thing. You have nothing to do as a government. If you don't come up with that communication, and now because you are suspending it, then it looks like MTN is a little powerful and want to play your card well. Although you don't want to be seen increase, you also don't want to offend communicated with the problem that we have. Our regulators must be saying them right, and then they are doing it in our favor and maybe about from entities, but rather the public welfare should be all their actions.
Okay, so it means clearly say you're careful but maybe it's the same way. Can the regulator break, or can the system once upon a time from now to maybe the next 2 years, the next 3 years, break the monopoly? with MTN?
It's all about regulations. It's all about policy.
Okay.
If government wants to do that, they have the power to do that. They have the regulation. They have policies that are on their side, and they can do that. So it is not really about the span of time, but if they want to do it, they can do it.
Okay, but I say just keep holding on for me. Na me nko kwesi edu enu hono industry perspective. Been share the issues of the Momo, because again Charles Kwesi Edu National PRM Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana. Na you know ending common fund. So clearly also me sure say unya message ni bi so unya message ni bi then plan the catcher. What was the future like in terms of mobile money transactions? In as much as say be personally me met na some transaction na call me wallet to the bank, and I can do it personally. No, me sure some money yenum edelia. We do some of these things with you. Challenges be na nka for say benya if Bank of Ghana had not paused the 0.75% charge in this year.
Yo, me nyame da say. Me fa akonya we so echia wa ti for ene wa for. Na ya ma yinya no muzani for barika de sala. Na the mechanic say Ghana, a major problem as the National Public Relations Officer for the Mobile Money Agent Association of Ghana. We've worked with both governments, and what we have come to ascertain is that we have an issue of communication.
Okay.
Anytime any of the regulators is mediating affairs with regards to the telcos and the ordinary Ghanaians or the customers, we seem to have a bit of distortion in terms of clarity. So I overheard my able colleagues emphasizing on the difficulty or the clarity with regards to the linkage between government as being supervised by the Bank of Ghana and the telcos private individual. It will interest you to know, say, e-levy by the difficulty was Bank of Ghana being clear to the core. People initially politically was attributing it to a political party. But it was a policy decision which is going to help the country rake in additional revenues.
Okay.
Secondly, why are people saying that this is equally e-levy? If they have a bit of similarity in terms of percentage. If you could recall, the 1% e-levy when introduced was reviewed to 0.75%, if your memory serves you right.
Yeah.
And so when they mentioned 0.75%, that was the last thing that the government came to cancel. And so therefore people thought it wise that the government have cancelled it last year and is finding a new way to reintroduce it. But the difficulty here is that these telcos, are they on their own? No, they are being regulated by government, i.e. Bank of Ghana. And they cannot do anything in isolation without recourse to the Bank of Ghana's decision. So therefore, when they say that they are going to do what we call broader consultation, it should tell you that, one, we have failed as a regulator, because nobody can come out and say that I'm going to introduce something without your notice. It means that we did not do broader consultation. The funny thing is, the agent is the vehicle that drives this whole exercise of implementation of policies.
Okay.
And when these agents are not educated, we will seem to have a bit of difficulty when dealing with the public outcry. Just yesterday, I was on several platforms to explain matters up that we are already charging fees. I think most of Ghanaians know this. We are already paying the fees, as your first speaker earlier mentioned. So when you want to credit your bank account directly from your Momo account, there's a fee you pay. But this time, government is equally in competition with these telcos, i.e. MTN. My good brother mentioned that government introduced what we call Ghana Pay. What Ghana Pay seeks to do, Ghana Pay seeks to do, when they were launching it, we were part, because we are part of the whole exercise as a stakeholder. We met with, and that gives platform will enable all people within the financial space to transact locally within themselves at a very minimal rate. So in order
so minimal rate or
exactly, and they are doing it. But do you know why? Because this private individual have invested much into sophisticated systems, he will also not sit there to lose his investment because it's a private man and his core mandate is to maximize profit. So if you will see, government is in competition with this telcos. So government introducing the Ghana Pay was to reduce prices. Even some transactions are free if you go to Ghana Pay. And the funny thing is they use short code to exercise or have access to that major platform called Ghana Pay through gifts. So government one is in competition, indirectly in competition with these private individuals, because let me tell you, we are sitting on a time bomb as a country. If you care to know, do you know that the fintech, the mobile money ecosystem, is a national security threat to a country, Ghana? Let me tell you, there can be chaos. Yes, and I'm explaining. There can be chaos when MTN decided that their system is not going to work from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. in a day, because the number and volumes of transactions that people have subscribed to, it will bring chaos. When people begin to defraud customers without full security, people will rush to MTN offices, and you know it will be a national security threat to all of us. And the funny thing is, once it is a national security threat, it does not bother us with MPP or NDC. It is all of us. Yourself inclusive, myself same. And so therefore, I feel that whenever there's a policy document coming from any of the private individuals, i.e. MTN or Telecel or whoever, or government, we should first educate the public. We should not allow people to come throw dust into the public eye before later we do what we call the needful. So I am of the view that we failed during the introduction of the e-levy. We did not do what we call broader consultation. I remember as agent body, as national executive, during the introduction of e-levy, they invited us to the Flagstaff House. But before we got to Flagstaff House, the policy is already out there. And it became a hoo-ha that we've gone there to take money. But the policy had already been established. And therefore, the government of the day, i.e. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, only listened to us. And he took a lot of decisions based on the review report we gave him, that we are on the ground. All the difficulty, all the education, the engagement are on the ground. And therefore, we need to be tooled to be able to educate the customers so that they will better understand the whole exercise. Same thing is going to happen. When people come to load their wallet and they want to transfer money to their bank account, they must be educated on how much they can. Because if my mom wants to credit my account, I'm a university student, my mom wants to credit my account 3,000 Ghana cedis, and he does not want to use the old ways of doing things, that is the banking sector, and want to use mobile money, he walks to an agent, give the agent 3,000 and say 30. Then the agent will take the charge of 30 because it's a third-party transaction, so therefore you pay 1% of the requisite amount. When you take that amount and then the person at the receiving end is unable to retrieve that 3,000, then it's going to be a problem. That customer is going to come to the agent that the agent did not do the needful. So it is better and proper we do what we call proper education for the end users to better understand the whole policy before we just run it out. So one, Bank of Ghana did not do well by saying that it spotted it. It means they are aware. MTN cannot do anything in isolation without recourse to Bank of Ghana. And so therefore, as agent leadership, we are pleading with the authorities that one, this charge is not new to us. It is already happening. And therefore, those in the banking sector, they are aware. It will interest you to know, like your first speaker said, if you are done, just follow the requisite requirement that he mentioned, that is dial *710#, you follow suit and do a bank transfer. You will see the charge that will come. So this 0.75% is nothing new. Secondly, they have even capped it to 5 cedis, and therefore it is going to bridge that gap of Ghana Pay, who have also do what we call the needful by raking in more customers. And that sector, that angle while that policy is being introduced, there's one key thing that you must be aware. Those in the mining sector in the Galamsey areas, they do these huge transactions.
Okay.
And therefore they pay huge charges.
Okay.
So that is where they want to do the needful so that they will still maintain those people feeling free to be able to operate within their system.
Okay.
So I think that tomorrow the Minister of Finance, if what the minority leader said is true, will come to Parliament, answer questions, and then there will be clarity. And by close of day tomorrow, we will know that government is aware and what government is going to do, and is government able to stop the private individual, what measures is going to be put in place, the broader consultation they are going to do, who are part of it. So this is the little I can say. Thank you.
All right, me that's a question. Mami call back to Miniabema Prince Obri Abaho in ending, so we can then have everybody's last words on some of these matters that we've spoken about. So, all right, Prince, about what Minia edu in terms of the issues are ABPPPM, and then the perception, and then the click of the 7.5 again with the issue of the yield levy and all that. And what Ora Mrs. Tekpe, Peter Tekpe on this particular matter as well. And no more now. What's your final take on these matters, especially Baby Ora Kwesi Fibano with the national security issues, and then leaving that space, for MTN to control and all that?
That has always been my argument, that Ghana am from sure, and the one not yet such a platform a private entity.
Okay.
If there is any platform and non-carbon bit may should promote to the cashless society the government should have taken the lead to say the need and and so on. Because like my brother said, we are practitioners into what goes in it day in and day out. That hindsight information, should something happen to the platform even for 6 hours, the BBC will mind. And giving such a huge asset to such a private entity, even though in terms of technicalities, the telecos only hold the virtual cash, the real cash goes into the partner bank's account. So those are the places next time. But the platform now they control who say
Okay.
So to be fair to you, or for the proper national development, the whole platform was not even also balanced. It only concentrated on the bigger banks, leaving out the small microfinance institution that architect need to support them. So if we are talking about financial inclusion, which is part of the conversation that we have now, there is a need for us to have a holistic review about the mobile money architects. Now, if possible, bring a lot of classification and decentralization or dissemination, breaking it down so that there will be tiers at the level of holding. Now, as it is now, the smaller banks in the rural and the community areas, work so hard. You have people having so much appetite to keep their monies on their mobile money wallet, when the original intent was solely for transaction purpose. But and then people are holding a lot of funds on it in the name of savings. So this whole discussion, like my brother said, it borders on national security, and there should be a holistic review about this whole mobile money conversation. To end my submission, before we draw conclusion or criticize the new charges, people must take interest, review how much we are paying out when we are transferring from our mobile money wallet to our bank account. It differs from one platform to another, and per the data that I have, currently we are paying higher than what the MTN is proposing. So the Bank of Ghana and the telecos must come out clear and tell the whole public that how much are we paying now?
Okay.
If we are transferring 1,000 Ghana, how much are we paying? If they should be allowed to implement their proposal, how much are we going to charge? So that we can do the balancing analysis, whether it's going to be for the interest of the consumer or against the consumer.
Okay.
Of course, if it's against the consumer, then we can all rise up and say that no.
Okay.
But looking at what is happening in South Africa, as we are having this discussion, our brothers are on air coming to Ghana. We must be very careful in pushing so much of public interest items into the hands of private sector,
okay,
it's so dangerous for our future.
All right,
I think so.
But as Ura Prince, your boy, a economist and a banking consultant in the no aiding more on this particular matters. I mean, Emmanuel Dakwa to end with us on the last stake on these matters. I raising from what Dr. Peter Tekwe Akana Feso Kwesi Akanwa Semsisiano. What your take is on your Orania Pamameno Ura Emmanuel Dakwa.
Okay, so metwaso free baby many prince EDC.
Okay.
To have a market share of more than 75%, I just say we have to be interested in that sector. Ghana has a stake telecell. Then it's now when you invest in infrastructure, may be do baby I do.
Interesting.
And so, but that is not to say CSA will be the but these are the things we have to be interested in. Same MTN mobile money, meaning say days be a platform number for you see frustration in the system, and it boils down to national security issue. So where there are some say we should be interested in such a very huge market. Then a stake in Telestel. Yatna Hama Fed the one market player, I could tell the security market power. Amayabedu baby, I agree. So that in having a conversation like that, let us broaden the discussion of national ownership of such huge and critical infrastructure. So the way that will not be shortchanged. Thank you very much.
But I say Emmanuel Dakwa, also a economist on this particular matters in the Ediho and Common Mamen Corner Mene Dr. Bakwisi, also a woman Menafe. So it clearly means that Mr. Kwisi, your problem, your digital space financing, and answer financial transactions are Orakusi, also to me na me bisa clearly if okay, my tone can see here.
But now say clearly.
Na me bisa your final take on these matters. But na me exactly say, say the echo by ya titi ni na there. You big issue when it comes to your digital space when it comes to finance, financial transactions.
Yeah, I think that it's not just the digital space. We have a lot of issues. Our economy, right?
Okay.
With different sectors. But what I want us to take note of this conversation that we had here, to look at as my concluding remark, which all hitting slowly to news items.
Okay.
How their tools may not be as the same in reality. So we very careful information because thrown all of us off board. Initially, we thought the government was the one introducing this, but clearly the practitioners have drawn our attention to the fact that this might not be the government introducing it, but the private entity, MTN, doing this. And this is very important that we use items. Two, as a country, we should have the public interest and the good rule of the people at heart in all situations at all points in time when we are making, and we are realizing that MTN is more or less becoming a national security threat because once there's any delay, any default, or any small inefficiency within MTN, this may cause a lot of presence, and this is not good for the country. We should put in mechanisms, alternatives, measures, so that when there are issues, immediate solutions, some of these issues. The third thing I want to draw our minds to is that as a country, we should be able to build our own local industries that will support our growth.
Okay.
If you fail to do that and build foreign companies in Ghana, all the amount of value they will be expatriated to their countries, and we will be at the end they will be the losers of this. Let us our local and indigenous companies, firms will grow and take over our resources and our resources. Thank you very much.
But I say, Dr. Bakwisi, financial expert, and let me come back to you, Dr. Peter Tekpe, on these issues. So clearly, all wrap up, it tells us clearly from even what Kwesi said, you were right in saying, the Bank of Ghana and how policy communications and all those things clearly, you're failing. I mean, totally leaving it for politicians to play games with it. Right, on me to Mamina, Mitio Fana was on.
Okay, sorry. I think the line is and I will be some question. But let me use that question.
Oh, can I say in running up, clearly a chair said your kind of and one of colleagues, I saw Afwas, it means that we have a problem. I mean, whether policy issues, communication issues, and then the way Anyama ACA corner. How do we solve some of these matters? I mean, moving on.
Well, so far as it has to do with politics, it will be difficult to do away with it because the opposition party will always find a gap to criticize the government in order to gain political capital. Because of that, how to deal with it is to enable the government in power, the party in power, to do broader consultation, engage the major stakeholders extensively. And most of the time, the strategy in doing this is that you don't even need to communicate it before you even start. You see, if Bank of Ghana has given you approval, you involve the stakeholders on the ground, those who deal with the Momo transactions, explain it to them, and then they will be the ones who will start informing the client that, oh, this is what is going to happen. Then they'll be able to explain that, oh, this is even better than what we currently have. Because indeed, if you look at the charges they are applying now, it's high.
Yeah.
Currently, the fees we are paying is higher than what they are coming to introduce.
Okay.
And so, it's higher than what they are coming to introduce because already there is a fee that is charged on Momo transactions.
Yeah.
And now they are saying that from bank to wallet, they want to charge us. So the question is that why do they now want to charge from bank to wallet? Then you have to explain to the people. So the gap in it is that get the people to understand. When the people understand and they own the issue, before any politician comes to say he's talking against it, they themselves will come and defend it because they've gotten the understanding and they know the value it brings to them, so nobody can say no. But when it happens like this, then that's where you see some of these issues happening where Bank of Ghana will say, please suspend it and let's pay. Because look, I can tell you that this conversation might have taken several months back.
Yeah.
That they have been going back and forth, and it's now that they have now aligned on this at this level and decided to now do the communication. Okay. And so this is how we should manage it going forward.
All right. But I say, Dr. Peter Tekpe, policy expert, and I'll tell you, can I running up in a few minutes with mini Kwesi Adu Enu on this matter. And you know, as you see, I know running up on a day now, Becca, actually, what is the future like? Then I'll foresee, say, ABC. Rakwesi oba o mute ho na afi ye di nkomo na me se wokasa wa mute ho ntinka obi ma menka be me de pa
hello
aha me to nka sisi a
one thing I would want to say is that
yes,
as a country we should be serious when it has to do with policies.
Okay.
Whenever we are doing anything, we should do well to take away politics, because the end game of what we are doing is for the betterment of our country, Ghana.
Okay. Okay, I'm say Yelusu Kwesi Adu Enu PRO Emma the Mobile Money Agent Association Yelusu. So on and out in Kansas, and then we just spoke to Dr. Peter Tekpe or a policy expert and also Dr. Bakusi, who is also a financial expert, and Emmanuel Dakwa, an economist on the same matter, and another economics and banking consultant, Mr. Prince Obri Yabwa, and a normal AD and Komono. Mijiri say what's it, the echo, any day, Ben, when you sa understanding in so the veteran Bank of Ghana, and when you hear sa consultation on person further consultation on person no how far it will go.